origin of me.
Welcome to Comics League Dark. I am Jared, and so far it looks like it's just gonna be me today, but that's fine. I got plenty of stuff to talk about. What's up, Cameron? And today we are discussing many different topics today. We're going to talk about Absolute Batman surprising no one and getting an animated series, and we'll also talk about like all the other DC animated projects that are coming out. Then we'll talk about Tom King having Wonder Woman off herself for no reason. And we're going to talk about the pattern that this exudes, because I feel like at some point someone has to talk about this. So then we're going to just hang out and chill. All right. So what topic do you guys want to talk about first? Wonder Woman or all the animated stuff? You guys can pick, and then we'll rock and roll with stuff. Actually, I'm going to take off my hoodie because it's really hot right now. All right. So, yeah. Again, so far the options are that, or if you guys have any options you want to talk about, Dave says, what's up, Dave? Absolute Batman, Genny Chikarakovsky's Conan the Barbarian, and a Dark Shadows thing were all announced. Yeah. So there's like a ton of really cool stuff coming out in terms of like animated content. And it's one of those interesting like little factors. But okay, there was one of them that I'm like, why? And that's the Joker series that's coming out. There's a Joker series where Joker is trying to hunt down who killed Batman. And I'm like, are you kidding me? There's another series where Joker where like Batman is killed. Can we stop doing that at that point? Yeah, we'll talk about Absolute Batman first, since you all talk about that right now. Yeah, I'm just like, the hell is going on here? Because it's like you're creating another series where it's someone responding to Batman's death. In fact, the last one even involved the Joker in some way, Joker's daughter. So I'm like, or she wasn't later stuff, but still, it's weird. It's very, very, very weird. But anyway, it felt like the Joker thing might be a Harley Quinn type parody series. I hope so, because that is just really like, at this point, I'm like, just end it, because like they really need to like stop with that whole like thing, because it's like really stupid. So let's talk about the Absolute Batman, because the Absolute Batman thing. Now, here's the thing. Some people are upset because it's not going to be like 2D animation. It's going to be one of those 3D style things like Green Lantern, the animated series, or Beware the Batman. Here's the thing about that. That kind of makes sense when you think about it, because, and yes, Hunter, I'm literally just talking about that. The thing about it being CG that actually works is because when you look at like the art style of Absolute Batman, it really like what it essentially does is it's very tough to get that right when it comes to like when it comes to proper animation style. So I see why they want to do it as a 3D animated project. And you know what? It definitely works as a 3D animation project for sure. CGI is fine, works for over the top nature. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm not that like upset about it. So I'm like, okay, that kind of works. That kind of is interesting. But in terms of like, in terms of like that being animated, I'm like, yeah, that kind of works. I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm not against anyone that because some people just for some reason wanted to be 2D, but I'm like with 3D, you can have the really crazy proportions of all the different characters. I mean, look at Green Lantern the animated series. Hal Jordan was significantly more stacked than was like Carol Ferris or something like that. So it's not like all of a sudden it's like so it's not that different when you really think about it. I mean, it still works from a like it still works from that perspective. So it's one of those things where I'm not that like concerned about. But again, it's surprising literally no one that it's getting an animated series because after all, Absolute Batman is like the #1 selling comic every month that comes out. It was only a matter of time before like it got some adaptation. And before you guys ask, Jared, if this is popular, does that mean we'll get the other Absolute things? Yes, it does. It does. It's definitely. I think it's very likely that if this is big enough, I definitely do think we'll see the other Absolute series is getting animated adaptations. I wouldn't even be surprised if Absolute Wonder Woman becomes the Wonder Woman animated series. That would be so good. That would honestly work really well for a for the Absolute Wonder Woman because it's like the most beloved animated Wonder Woman like series coming out. It's like, wow. I really don't think that I really didn't think that they could do anything so better than that. It's like and at the very least, at least we know if they do the Absolute Wonder Woman, we know that the Wonder Woman series won't be adapting Tom King stuff in any way, which is awesome. But yeah, so what do you guys think? What series are you guys the most excited for? I think the worry is that some people dislike Beware the Batman series is underrated, even adapted to the classic Manhunter story. Yeah, I saw like a couple episodes of it. It wasn't that bad. I'm like, it's because here's the thing. Any animated Batman series is going to be compared to BTAS. Is that fair? No. But is it something to be anticipated? Yeah. So it's like, that's why. If it doesn't align with their standards, which have existed since BTAS, then it's like it's automatically trash in their mind. So that's kind of where I put that. It's like, look, it's not going to align with your standards, but let me put it this way. If you want everything to be like Batman the Animated Series, you're going to be very disappointed because I got news for you. They can't all be that. It can't all be bad. It's like there are too many fans that want DC to perpetually look like DC, like the DCAU, and I'm like, that's not in any way sustainable or preferable. Trust me, I say this as a Wonder Woman fan. But yeah, so what other questions or comments do you guys have about any of the animated announcements? Because so far they're pretty good. We got to look at Green Lantern, the animated series. We got to look at some pretty cool stuff. Honestly, that's setting themselves up for failure. Why have everything be the same? It ruins creativity. Yeah, but fans want DC to perpetually look like one version. Remember with post-crisis DC and the fans not moving on from DC Rebirth? It's kind of the same thing. So yeah, it's so then we also have the Krypto series. So isn't it interesting that Krypto gets an animated series? Hey, what's up, X-Men Superfan? Isn't it hilarious how Krypto gets an animated series before Wonder Woman? I swear, I know the contract is a consideration, but if I were in charge of this, my statement would be, until you get a Wonder Woman series in active development, you're not getting no D-list character gets any projects. That's it. Prioritize the characters that deserve prioritization. I'm sorry, not every character deserves an adaptation. And all you're doing, you're just adapting Krypto. You're just putting Krypto because you know that's the only thing, that's the only part of your series of your Superman movie or Supergirl that people really care about. Here's how I know that. You keep putting Krypto in literally everything. So isn't that hilarious, ladies and gents? But yeah, ultimately, it's like the way I kind of see it with these people with this stuff is it's some good stuff, some questionable stuff, but I still don't think that I still don't think that Krypto deserves an animated series. I'm sorry, I just don't. It's not a thing. I'm just like, I'm not interested. But besides that, the obviously I won't see that because I'm just so you know, I got my Superman Wonder Woman Volume 2 book in the mail and it's awesome. Yeah, there you go, Randy. There you go. I'm surprised Gunn isn't doing an animated series about his wife. Oh, don't tempt him. Don't tempt him. We'll talk about that. Speaking of Krypto, I saw the movie, no spoilers, but yeah, I can't wait to discuss it. That's all I will say. Let me put it this way, Cameron, you can say if you liked it or not, or if you agree with everyone not liking it. There's so many things that we have that we can have with Wonder Woman, so many chances they could give her. My adventure with Wonder Woman, absolute Wonder Woman, a proper Wonder Woman series. Yeah, there's so much. Or how about a competent Wonder Woman writer? Is that too much to ask for? It's like, is that a competent Wonder Woman writer? If only if only we had a competent Wonder Woman writer. Well, actually, we have 4, and their names are like Stephanie Williams, Jeremy Adams, James Tinney, and any of those would work. But the other thing that we did get was the trailer for the animated trilogy. I can't give this movie a score. That is where I am with this. It's that bad, huh? It's that bad. Well, spoiler alert, it's based on a Tom King book. I will say, I find it so hilarious that the same month that Tom King does the most egregious thing to Wonder Woman, the movie that's based on his property, on his storyline, absolutely bombs. And people hate it. I absolutely love it. It is such poetic irony that it puts a smile on my face, ladies and gents. It just puts a smile on my face. Even though there were so many, and people are like, wait a minute, there's not enough cool Supergirl stories that they could have adapted. Well, there is. It's called New 52 things. Yeah, I know, Hunter. I'm getting to that. So yeah, so we're talking about and with Mr. Miracle, it's just an adaptation of his series, so I have zero interest in that because I read the book. It's not good, and it's connected to the DCU, so is practically everything King writes. So it's like I'm putting that in a box with it because honestly, I don't think that's going to be adapted, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised because Jay Heat said that the reason why that he got brought into the movies is that they're trying to like transition Tom King away from writing comics, which I have no doubt that's probably true. But the other thing that's really funny is imagine if he fails at doing this too, because if his projects keep failing, like if Mr. Miracle comes out and it's not good, then here's the other thing that's going to be really funny. Then it'll be like, okay, so wait a minute. So you're telling me Tom King is not the biggest, like, is not the biggest things in sliced bread? The answer's no, but yeah. And he says, haven't seen it yet, but I heard the biggest issue is the awful script. Yeah, I know. That's where I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the movie gets delayed and they bring in another writer. But honestly, I would be surprised if we get a one. Yeah, to your point, Dave, I don't think we're gonna get a DCU Wonder Woman movie. I really think that when Ellison takes over, we're gonna see a lot of Gunn stuff get reversed. Rightly so. Also, I saw the synopsis of My Adventure with Starfire. It sounds good, but at the very least, they'll give one. Well, Starfire is not like is not a My Adventures show. It's not in that universe. You're thinking of My Adventures with Green Lantern, which I'm going to see, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the My Adventures verse. I'm going to see purely because it features Jessica Cruz. So if I want to see my favorite Green Lantern get any attention, I'm kind of going to have to see it. I'm kind of a hostage in this case. So it's like I might as well check it out. I might as well check it out. But yeah, so let's see. So what other questions do you guys have about DC and all that stuff that's coming out? Ask your questions, ladies and gents. Ask your questions. Let's see. What other questions do you guys have about this type of stuff? Because really, it's like there's a lot of really good like announcements coming out that I'm pretty excited. Tartakovsky's Conan series is going to be so good. Yeah, exactly. That man really knows how to make barbarian like content. Remember when it was Clone Wars and stuff? I think they should add another female writer with Anna. So you want another right? So here's the thing, Hunter. In the case of like DC's like, in the case of like superhero movies, typically loading on more writers is a bad idea. Look at what happened with The Flash. So that wouldn't necessarily lead to any new like. That wouldn't exactly help. That wouldn't exactly help in terms of like leading to an actual what's the word? Leading to an actual like good movie. I think of Cape Crusader Volume 2. I think the season's going to win more fans over. Could be, but they're already agenda banning more characters. Hey, what's up, NJ? Good to see ya. But yeah, but it's like, but what I will say looks really freaking good, that Nightfall trailer. Like the trailer for the Nightfall like animated movie series with Jeremy Adams, the trilogy, that looks freaking dope, my friends. Like, wow. Like the anime, it looks like DC is going back to actually adapting the animated material, the animated, like, what's the word? Actually, I'm going to pull up the trailer and we'll flip through it a little bit. Because what it looks like here, it looks like they're adapting a lot of the art from animation style. So let me see that. And by the way, Hunter, I've said that before. My basic opinion of he does it because he says Batman doesn't have enough cool female villains. And I'm like, bro, they exist. You even used a bunch of them. So don't even tell me that like he doesn't have enough good female characters. How about you actually use them? Anyway, so this is legit the art style for Nightfall. And I got to say, the art style for this looks absolutely incredible. Like, look at that. Again, I'm not putting the sound on right now because it's like I don't want to get copyright ding. But yeah, exactly, Dave. The animation style looks like the art style, the animation actually looks really good. Azrael looks pretty good. And then As Bats is going to look really good as well. I'm really excited for that because there's Azrael. And then we have Nightfall Batman. That just looks so good. That's the one that I'm the most excited for. Partly because Jeremy Adams, but majorly because it's ridiculous. It looks like it's a tribute to the source material, which I am very happy about. I don't mind the punch. Wait. I don't mind seeing Punchline Batman the Cape Crusader. Punchline is in this? I didn't see the Cape Crusader trailer. Let me see this. Okay, so that's Talia. All right. If they had her. Yeah, but here's the problem with that Hunter. She's a streamer / podcast. They can't really do that. Because she doesn't work with that universe, and they already have Harley Quinn as a villain. She would be redundant at that point. But she's not in the show. Yeah, that's what I figured, because I was like, there's no way they would use her. Nightfall is going to be at least as good as the stuff like Dark Knight Returns 2-part, A New Frontier, and Year One. Very excited. Yeah, exactly. Chances of Absolute Wonder Woman series consider. Yeah, and I talked about that before you came in. So Absolute Batman is getting a series now. My thing about it, if it's popular enough, they will do more stuff. They will 100% do more like DC Absolute series. In other words, I could see Absolute Wonder Woman being the next up because of like it's the like second most popular Absolute series. I said Absolute series, so let's be very clear up there. Cape Crusader Harley Quinn is like a cross between Harley Quinn, Punchline, and Hugo Strange. Yeah, and it's horrible. I hate it. But yeah, I definitely think there's going to be a lot more of that. So that's the real interesting factor there. Who would you like to voice Absolute Batman? Who could voice Absolute Batman? Because Liam McIntyre sounds slightly old. I don't want them to do Jensen Ackles because Absolute Batman's supposed to be kind of young-ish because he's supposed to be relatively new, 52-ish ages. So that's what I think there. Alan Richardson. Actually, yes, I could see him play voicing Absolute Batman. That's actually not bad. I could definitely see that. The Harley, the Harley one is the worst one, and yet they still did it. And people want to tell me that Bruce Timm is this god of Batman. He's not. But anyway, that's in terms of like DC animation. There's like honestly there is a lot of really good stuff coming out. I will say there's a lot of really interesting DC animation work, and I do definitely feel like we're like there's going to be a lot more really good DC animation coming out, assuming that a lot of this stuff is popular and stuff. I could see a lot more series coming up that would that will be releasing. That'll be really good. So anyway, what else do you guys want to talk about, or should we start talking about Wonder Woman? Thoughts on Creature Commander Season 2? I don't know that much about it, so I'm not really going to comment on it. I can't. Basically, Creature Commander so far is not really my thing. So that's all I'm going to say. I'll give it a shot, but it's like I believe that the series should not exist. Jason Momoa's Absolute Batman. Oh, that would be absolutely hilarious, my friend. That would be hilarious. Like, wow, if they had like Lobo / Aquaman, all of a sudden Jason Momoa is going to voice all the characters. Imagine a dog gets his animated series before Wonder Woman. Yeah, I know. Krypto is getting an animated series before Wonder Woman. What? Yeah, I'm sorry. I hate that. That is dumb, and that should not be a thing. Honestly, and that's why. Honestly, that's why you see more DC fans turning on James Gunn, because they're like, wait a minute. So Wonder Woman gets nothing, and you promised you were working on getting an animated series. Working on implies the possibility that something would come from that work. That's what working on means. But it's like because here's what you guys have to understand. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about Wonder Woman. He doesn't care about these characters. At first, I thought it was Krypton, because before I found it was Krypto, I'm like, oh, of course. Yeah, I know. Krypton coming back as a show would be awesome. But of course, no, they're not going to do it. Isn't that hilarious, my friends? They're not going to. So we have to like sit through Krypto. Now you got me doing it, Cameron. So we got to sit through that, as opposed to like getting like Wonder Woman series or something else. It's like the DCU has its priorities completely like backwards. You notice how there's not really going to be a Justice League. There's going to be the Justice Gang, which I'm like, that again, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Give the characters that deserve the priority. And I got news for you. Not every character needs an adaptation. Not every character needs an animated series. The minute that we actually like accept that, the sooner we can actually make the DC brand healthy. At least DC is thinking about return to standalone animation. That's true. If Supergirl is bad, imagine how awful the Authority script must have been to get canceled. Yeah, I know. And that's the other thing. So people are talking about how horrible the script is. And then people are like, wait a second, James Gunn, you talked about how Supergirl was originally not supposed to be the second DCU movie until you read the script and thought it was one of the best scripts you've ever read. So wait a minute. What do you mean it was like one of the best scripts? And it's like, I got news for you. Do you know why this is happening? It's the only reason why that became a movie. Gotta get fired, bro. Okay, join the freaking club. Gunn doesn't deserve to be in charge of these characters. He just doesn't care. He doesn't care about anyone that's not the D-list characters. Again, this is the man that said he wanted to make Peacemaker as big as Batman. And I'm like, that's never going to happen, because no one gives a crap about Peacemaker. And your like horrible Peacemaker season 2 made it even more likely no one's going to care about it. Although I will say, I love every time a DCU project comes out, I do enjoy seeing a lot of people like eventually like go, okay, I think we may have gassed him up way too much. And I'm very glad about that. But anyway, so let's just talk about Wonder Woman, shall we? So the Matriarch got defeated by Wonder Woman in a sword fight. Somehow the Matriarch not only is capable, is super girly bad. I have to watch it, but I've heard horrible things specifically about the script, NJ. We may be screwed. I'll let you know what I personally think on Sunday when I see it, but I don't think it's looking good. Anyway, so the thing about this, so Matriarch goes back to having a Green Lantern ring. Somehow it's like Green Lantern ring. Not Green Lantern ring. Green Lantern ring. All right. Hey, what's up? That's Elijah. So what you get is, all right. So somehow the Matriarch is able to take out a like, to take out like, what's the word? Somehow the Matriarch is able to take out a Guardian, Ganthet, as a matter of fact. She's able to take out Ganthet. Let's be clear about that, with a Green Lantern ring. And then, are you ready? So Wonder Woman defeats her. And according to Rich Johnson, she's trying to like break the threads of fate. So she does that by offing herself with the God Killer sword. Yes, that's what she does. Wonder Woman offs herself in Tom King's one, which then again, this is the same Wonder Woman that coerced a villain into committing self-harm with a dagger. So there you go. Oh yeah. Oh, 100% D-Claws. That should have been the Supergirl origin. Because here's the thing about that movie. You could have used that to like adapt all of the different to like introduce all the different characters as well. Because you can introduce Wonder Woman with that. You could introduce Batman with that. You can introduce Apocalypse with that. That movie serves as a absolutely fantastic introduction into essentially DC and into those characters. So if you wanted that a movie to be like the second adaptation, like let's say if you were stuck on that being the second movie, well, the other advantage that it has is it's called Superman, Batman, Apocalypse. So you could have adapted that and made that the Supergirl movie. And Jay Heat's here.
Flame on! How's everybody doing tonight?
How you doing, Jay Heat?
Good, good. I just got out of the theater for Supergirl, and
Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it yet, but you can tell me if it's bad.
It's bad. I'm just not gonna lie to you. It's bad. I mean,
hey, and
All the hopes and dreams of Krypto live in you now.
Taladia!
hey!
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Well, I can say what a day I've had. Hot day.
Now, again, I know you've seen it. I haven't seen it. I'm seeing it on Sunday.
Not spoiling it for you, but I'll say, not a spoiler. I'll say this was a fun flick to go and watch.
Okay, if you and again, you like it, that's totally great.
If you're willing to turn your brain off, it's decent. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's decent. But if you take any comprehensive thought or cinema lingo, it's just gonna annoy the hell out of you.
If you realize there was a better way to introduce Supergirl into the DCU, it's this movie right here.
That is a solid new animated movie. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't have done this because this requires Darkseid and a lot of setup. So I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that story specifically, but I get where your head's at.
Well, Jay Heat, you could have used it to introduce all those other concepts because the movie doesn't even introduce those as well. The movie doesn't even lead into to the setup at all.
I have a thought.
All right.
If you were gonna introduce Supergirl to the DCU, in my opinion, they should have done it in Man of Tomorrow.
Agreed.
Yep. Because you could have also done with that because adapting Brainiac, Superman Unchained.
Superman Unbound, yeah.
Unbound, sorry. Unchained is the new 52 story. I got confused with.
He's got the 52 on his head, guys.
I always do. But yeah, that would have been another one that would have worked. But I'm like, but you went with the other problem that people have with the movie, from what I heard, is like they went away from the unique visuals that like the book is specifically known for because
it's very colorful.
Yeah, and they made this just a generic sci-fi movie.
So you want to hear the funny thing?
Mm-hmm.
My mom actually thought it was like a Doctor Who film, like a Doctor Who's TV series. I'm like, wait, what? She's like, yeah.
By the way, it's bad when Jodie's corner has turned against James Gunn.
Yeah, I saw his video a couple hours ago while I was at work during my break at work, and he ripped that movie to shreds. Like half of his review was a 20-minute rant. Like for real.
Yeah, I'm like, oh wow. But again, if people like the movie, more power to you. You're allowed to like it. Again,
this is just our opinion, folks. This is just our opinion.
We're not like those channels that say you're not allowed to like things.
But if we are going to be objective about one thing, this movie's going to flop and bomb big time.
Oh, and Cameron, no, she gets defeated in like 2 pages, and then Wonder Woman offs herself with the God Killer sword. Anyway, at least it's not the Matrix Supergirl banging Lex Luthor. Small miracles, am I right? Okay, so
Dave,
Taladia, wait.
Why do you have to remind us that exists?
Wait. Taladia, do you know about this?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
good.
is a deep cut.
Just wanted to make sure because it is a deep cut, and I'm like, jeez.
No, but I'll say what I was gonna say is the thing is, the actors that played their respective roles smashed it. In my opinion.
Yeah, they did great with what they were
Momoa as Lobo, come on.
Yeah,
and what
literally.
did I say? And what did I tell y'all guys? Lobo was only going to get Momoa was only going to get 5 minutes of total screen time. I called it. I freaking called it.
He doesn't get that much screen time, huh? Even though he was in most of the trailers.
No, without spoiling it, right? David Cornsweet, Superman, is Superman. That's all.
Yes, he is very definitive casting. I will not take that from the man. I will not.
And he's improved from 2025
for this version. Oh, really? He is interesting.
But since we're on the subject, we might as well undercut it now.
Yeah.
Unless the Paramount merger goes through and they completely overhaul the slate and prioritize bigger IPs, I don't think the DCU is getting past Man of Tomorrow.
Me neither. And here's the thing. One of two things are going to happen. Now here's the thing, J-Heap. This is still like their first like movie that the internet has completely ravaged. Because Superman, there are some people that didn't like it, but still like some people, enough people did. Now, here's the thing. If Lanterns and Man of Tomorrow don't do well, like if they do Supergirl like numbers in terms of like conversations, I say conversations because I know Lantern is a show, so it's not going to have like
engagement. We get what you're saying.
In terms of like if Lanterns acts like Peacemaker season 2, where it comes out and no one talks about it, and then Superman Man of Tomorrow doesn't do as well. That's when I'm like, Paramount takes a hard look at Gunn and says, you can still be involved creatively, like you can still direct movies, but you're not doing any more like.
You're not the head guy. You are taking a major demotion if we don't fire you.
Someone asked me, who do you think would replace it? What I think would be the best idea is, I'm not just going to say Zack Snyder. Again, I want to be very clear about that. What they should do is have like what I originally thought they were going to do, bring in like some filmmakers and some comic book writers and just give them the following addendum. You cannot have D-list characters get projects until the Justice League is established. Give us Superman, and the Justice League has to be at least either the movie Justice League or even the DCAU Justice League I would accept. Not the characterizations, but yeah. What do you want to say, Taladia?
I was gonna say, don't forget Clayface.
Clayface is gonna do decent because the budget is so astronomically small. So that's not really even a factor.
No, but I think Clayface is gonna be the dark horse of this year. The reason why I say that, I knew Supergirl going into this. Supergirl isn't gonna have Superman numbers, but I still had a fun time because I went out, I still enjoyed it because I had a fun time with my mom. She obviously enjoyed it. Yeah. So we both had a fun time, and it was like I think a 2-hour flick. So by the time we finished up, it was 8:00 at night. So but we had a fun time, and I'm going to see Spider-Man Brand New Day next month anyway, and they showed a trailer for that, and by the way, in front of the Supergirl movie. But when it comes down to DC, I think Clayface is the one to watch. I think Clayface is the one.
Out of this year. I agree. Clayface.
It could.
I feel like it's going to be the highlight.
I'll admit that because it's a horror movie, and horror movies have been doing fantastically. So it's not like that's like out there. Again, could also bomb, but I highly doubt it will. And even Dave says Clayface is the project he's really excited for. Cameron says, or in my opinion, scrap it all entirely. The MCU is too big at this point. Now, here's the thing. Honestly, at this point, if they do another, I don't think they're gonna do another reboot.
No, too much money, too much capital has been invested with the actual investors and people running this commission and getting the merger in the first place. You're still going to see the DCU in some capacity. It's just James Gunn's relevance is going to be reduced depending on how Clayface and Lanterns perform by Man of Tomorrow rolls around. So James Gunn is going to have reduced influence regardless. I think we can all objectively agree on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Because it's like when you have these like when you have these underperformances / failures in the case of Supergirl, particularly it's a project where James Gunn himself said he loved the script on it. He felt the script was like really well done. And then you have the audience and the critics saying the script was horrible.
Nothing against the actress. Anna Noguera. I remember some of her work in the early 2000s.
Wait. Anna Noguera is not the actress who plays Supergirl. She was the
writer. I'm speaking. She's the script writer, but she was a former actress.
But here's the other thing. This was her first actual big
full-on writing credit. Yes, and the script is whack. I'm not refuting that. I'm saying she was a decent actress for where she was and when she was coming up. Mm-hmm. But as a creative and as a writer, the script was whack. I wouldn't even, Lord forbid, trusting her with Wonder Woman. I wouldn't even trust. I'm not going to get into it now.
Oh, Jay, she was also writing Titans.
No comment on that. No
comment. I'm not going to risk getting canceled. No.
Exactly.
But shout out to everybody all the production crew. The effects really carried this movie to any measure of quality, if we're really being honest. But yeah, I would just say the biggest fault with this movie was a whack script and how the whole thing was. I would argue Supergirl was rushed because they didn't have anything else, because they're obviously having Batman take a back seat, depending on whether or not Matt Reeves is going from a trilogy to a duology, depending on how the higher-ups want to set that up. Wonder Woman is recovering brand-wise from 84. Obviously, they're not. I don't even think Flash is going to get a project prior to Justice League. I think they're just going to make him an ensemble with Martian Manhunter and save Flash for Chapter 2, if it gets that far.
Well, honestly, I feel like they're going to abandon the whole chapter thing. Honestly, here's what I think is going to happen. Matt's out and the merger happens. James Gunn steps down as head of DC Studios. Then you're going to start seeing like most of his really obscure projects get the kibosh, like Booster Gold and all that stuff. Then you'll start to see, okay, Batman is actually in development. Well, we'll have a Batman casting. We'll have a Wonder Woman casting. Then they'll announce a Justice League movie. Then you'll start to see the Justice Gang characters not being used anymore.
No, they were a highlight in Superman 25. I don't think the Justice Gang is going to get phased out entirely. You could easily rebrand them as a Terrifics. That's an easy fix.
Well, I mean, as being the premier team, because Gunn seems like he's trying to promote them as this universe's Justice League, except they're called the Justice Gang.
But I was going to bring this up, right?
Sure.
Looking at everything that DC Studios is doing, right? They are doing something right, though, compared to Marvel. They are doing something right, which is getting some of these characters out there in the public eye so people can start picking up books. And that's the most important.
I'm not. See, that's another thing entirely. It's like when they have the ads on for like trailers and stuff that says, "Hey, pick up the DC comic books." That's awesome. I'm not against that. I'm just against certain characters getting projects before the A-listers.
Synergy is all well and good, but you still have to take the movie as its own thing, as a commercial product. If it can't stand on its own, then what is the point from a business standpoint?
Yeah. Oh, Dave says people are speculating she got the screenwriting job because she's a friend of Gunn's wife. Well, let's not forget, this is the man that hired Tom King purely because he was a fan of Tom King's writing, and that's what he wanted. Let's not forget about that.
To an extent, that's true, but I feel like to get him out of the comics division, this was a compromise.
At least the public-facing reasoning, at least Gunn's public reason why. That may be the private reason with DC Comics, J.E., but in terms of the public reason that was presented, that was the reason.
But mind you, right? Even though we've only had 2 films in the DCU, right? We've had Superman and Supergirl. I think that it shouldn't be said, oh yeah, it's dead in the water. I've seen a lot of people say, oh yeah, it's going to be dead in the water. It's done. The DCU is finished. Don't classify it out yet. We still got Clayface to come We still have Man of Tomorrow to come, you know, and plus
yeah.
there's also the animated stuff that is part of the DCU. You also got to remember that the animated
Other than
shows,
Creature Commandos, have they officially canonized
Mr.
anything animation wise?
Mr.
Yes.
Miracle,
Mr.
which is based on the Tom King book, Jay Heat.
Yeah, but that's
Mr.
just going to be a
Miracle.
one and done. That might as well be a DC's version of Marvel presentation because really that run is really just one big maxi series.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
But-
much
but-
material.
But the one thing I'm not too happy about with the DC Studios situation
Okay.
is, I'll be honest with you, My Adventure with Superman season 4. It's not been confirmed.
Ooh. No, nothing. I have changed. Full disclosure, I have changed my opinion towards My Adventure Superman. It's growing on me. I didn't think it would, but it is growing on me a little bit. I will acknowledge that. I will eat crow. But if they're rushing to do Death of the Superman without Doomsday or even Clark having a near-death experience,
Yeah.
it's just that you remove such a core component of the duology. What?
No, but what I mean is, so one of the showrunners or somebody that works behind the scenes on the show literally said they got to do 3 seasons before James Gunn and Peter Safran came in.
Oh, they were already commissioned for 3 seasons prior to the.
Oh yeah, that's so. You think it's going to be another Superman and Lois situation where
Possibly.
they thought they had where they wanted to go on longer, but then because of the merger, because remember we're going into another merger.
Yeah, because remember, if y'all don't remember, Superman and Lois debuted around the time, or got canceled, I should say, around the time of the Emmerich and Zaslav Warner Discovery merger. Excuse me, sorry, I was going by their executive names. But because of the Warner Discovery merger, Superman and Lois was supposed to go up to season 5, but it got cut short.
They were gonna have like Darkseid show up and stuff.
Yeah, it was pitched. Yeah, they were pitching a 5th season around the time the merger went through.
I think also another thing to take into consideration is Cape Crusader season 2. That's being the cutoff point as well. That's another show.
That was commissioned for 2 seasons.
That was commissioned. That's
Honestly,
another
show. Can I be honest? Good.
I'm not
Jared
saying
to say
it
that.
wouldn't have gotten a
Jared to
renewal.
say
We're just saying it was commissioned for 2 prior to the merger or any of this legal corporate stuff coming into play.
Maybe Amazon will pick up the show. Well, they're not.
They already outsourced the show to Amazon.
Mhm.
Unless Amazon goes out of their way to renew it.
I think he's talking. I think he's talking about My Adventures with Superman.
Okay.
It could be, Teladia. Actually, here's an alternative that maybe will give you some peace of mind. Maybe the My Adventure with Superman show will end, and then that'll lead to the My Adventure with Green Lantern show. You know how like you had Batman the Animated Series, then Batman Beyond, then Superman. So it's not like the series kept going. It's like they ended. So Superman is one chapter of it, then Green Lantern, and then the next show in the My Adventures verse.
Yeah, I understand that, but as a Superman fan, it's like no, like
especially since how often do we get animated Superman series?
Yeah,
you hate to see it go. That I feel I kind of have to agree with Talati on that because we get so little Superman content, especially animation wise. So I hate to see, even if it's slightly better than mid, I will compromise. Even if it's slightly better than mid, I hate to see My Adventure Superman go because it's doing a lot of good and a lot of grace for Superman fans. I hate to see
it's finally making Lois Lane evil.
He liked episode 2, didn't you? You liked episode 2.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm waiting until I'm waiting until the whole season comes out. Then I'm gonna watch it.
But real talk. If I had to
real quick, I have to play a clip.
How would you like me to make your life a living hell?
Well, I'm not really ready for a relationship, Lois, but thank you for asking.
I'll give you that.
It's just that what I was gonna say. As soon as I watched the episode, I messaged Jared and I said to Jared, watch episode 2.
He told me you specifically are gonna love this. I'm like, something happens with Lois, and then we said Lois is evil. I'm like, so they did an actual comic accurate Lois. Awesome. NJ says, come on, guys, we Wonder Woman fans get absolutely nothing. Contract aside, I 100% agree with you, NJ. It's really stupid. But again, it's stupid that I know you're a Superman fan, but why does Krypto get an animated series before Wonder Woman or Batman or any of these? Any of the characters that deserve it? I know Batman's gonna get one, but like any of the A-listers, Krypto.
Well, Krypto is part of DCU, so they have to make something for DCU project, isn't it?
Wait, wouldn't this? Isn't
no,
this
with
Krypto
Wonder Woman? Wait. They don't have to make just because it's in the DCU does not mean they have to make an animated series about it.
No, but there was a popularity.
You still need content. You still need content for synergy purposes.
Yeah, with the synergy with the Supergirl film and the Superman film.
So considering that's the only thing that like they seem to be promoting with all these movies is Krypto.
But I will say this. I don't know if you talked about it yet, but Absolute Batman animation. I hope that leads into Absolute Superman and Absolute Wonder Woman getting their own TV spin-off shows.
I think it will. If those are popular, they're like in other words, if Absolute Batman does really well, there is no way they don't do an Absolute Wonder Woman. Krypto is not in the DCU. Yeah, but Hunter, what we're talking about is that there being a Krypto animated series is a type of synergy.
But what do you guys think is more, and I'll let the chat in as well. What do you guys think is more likely? A My Adventures with Wonder Woman series with possibly Steve Trevor as the POV character. We have to consider the possibility. Jared.
Why did you say that name?
Thank you. Or an Absolute Wonder Woman animated
Absolute Wonder Woman animated series for sure.
I would say both of them. I actually think it's going to be.
It could go either way, right? It could go either way.
No. I think it's going to be Absolute Superman coming up next.
Yeah, but what? Here's my thing on that. So they gave Absolute Batman the animated series because it's like the #1 selling comic book series of all time currently. Now, why would they skip Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman is the second highest, consistently highest selling DC project. Superman is like the third. I feel like they would go in the order.
In promotional and popularity order. Absolute Batman, especially with the recent momentum it's got, it's at the top out of the line. Absolute Wonder Woman is just under it by a couple of thousand units. And then Absolute Superman, like right at the number 3. I will give you that, Jared.
I just feel though, because I was like talking to a friend about this. I was like saying to them that look, Absolute Batman getting a TV show, if it does really well in numbers on streaming services and
which it will.
Whoever picks it up, right? Whether it's Amazon, HBO, whoever it is making it, right? But if it does like banging numbers, I would expect an announcement next year or the year after WB Animation saying, well, we're making this show now. This show is coming out. Considering you guys loved the Absolute Universe, you guys adored it. It's basically because they're banking on Batman. This year has been the bank of Batman, basically, right?
As every year,
pretty much.
Pretty much. No,
this year particularly.
This year particularly. You have the Nightfall movie. You have the
Lego Batman game.
You have the Lego Batman game, and now you got Absolute Batman animation coming out. Like,
need we say more?
Batman's just selling, and I know the Wonder Woman fans feel like left out. I get it. I understand it. But it's not as bad.
It's not a priority. If they had acted on it with Wonder Woman 2017, y'all would have an argument. If they acted on it back then. But they didn't because they were trying to damage control, and then Hamada was trying to reboot the whole thing. I mean, trying to pitch a Crisis adaptation was a stupid idea. I get you want to reboot the whole thing, but for God's sake,
well, we all know how Hamada was not exactly the smartest studio executive when it comes to DC.
No, but besides that, right? Forget about him, right? He's a clown, so he's out the picture. But this regime are doing something different, and they are taking advantage of things which we've never seen before. Like studios never used to do comic adaptation movies, TV shows, right? They've never done that before.
Yes, they did.
Sprinkled here and there, but it wasn't a priority.
So studios have never done comic adaptations. Invincible.
No. I'm talking about DC. DC particularly, they've never done a comic, one-to-one comic into a television animated show. They've done it in
They've done that
movie-
before.
They done it in straight to DVD movie releases.
No, in TV
Yeah.
shows they've done it. This isn't
You
a
mean
new
referencing
thing.
the storyline as a whole or a direct adaptation, Taladia?
I'm talking about what the absolute, for example, the absolute Batman is doing. right?
Okay. I get what you're saying now. They've never done direct adaptations. They might
Yes,
have.
they have. Again, I'm saying they have.
I can't remember which one it is, but I
get what you're saying, Taladia. We get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
but anyway, I wanted to ask you.
Mhm.
This is a question for Jared. I wanted to ask you. I don't know if you did cover it, but the absolute animation style.
Yep.
How do you feel about it? Because
Yeah,
I never got a
we
chance
covered it, but I'll say it again here. So it's 3D animation stuff. Now, at first, there are some people freaking out about this. Here's the thing: Absolute Batman has a very distinctive style to it, and the best way to do that would be like, because when people hear 3D animated Batman, they think of Beware the Batman, that old cartoon show. But it's like that works when you're dealing with like Absolute Batman. Now they could also have done the sort of the art style for Nightfall per se, but that's adapting specific comic book art from a specific comic book story that's not applicable to everyone. In terms of it being 3D animated, I'm like, that actually works really well, particularly since when you look at like the vast difference proportion wise when it comes to like, let's say Absolute Batman and everyone else. Because if you look at like Green Lantern, the animated series, Hal Jordan is more jacked and stuff as opposed to Carol, who's a little more scrawny. So you could like make that work with an animated, with a 3D animation style.
No, that's true. I thought to ask because I wasn't here for the beginning of the stream. So,
And then Hunter says, "Don't hate me. I believe David Ellison will reboot, but keep the same." That's it. That's the thing. That's not necessarily that's more of a soft reboot. But what they'll probably do is, let's say they get rid of everyone. Let's say they get rid of the management. I like put it this way: no matter what happens, I highly doubt they could surprise me. Highly doubt they'll replace all the actors. Highly doubt that.
They'll change the slate, yes, and restructure some things.
They'll
But
change the
keep
slate,
same
maybe
people.
change the story and stuff, but no.
They'll keep
they'll
the
keep
same
the actor.
people.
They'll
Because
keep the
due to contracts, they have to keep the same people.
No, not necessarily. They could buy them out of contracts, and enough of these actors are not big enough to have really expensive contracts.
Well, the
But it's
amount
like-
of debt Warner Brothers has culminated after 2 separate mergers back to back, they are not in a position to buy anybody out.
That is very true. I'll give you that. That is very true. But it's like, my point is, it's like they'll keep the actors at the very least to have some continuity. Maybe they'll change like the costumes, and yes, the priorities will change, but they're not gonna like start from reboot. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the first Superman movie, but I heard this, Taladia, in the Supergirl movie. Spoiler alert, everyone! I have to say this because Taladia's here. They double down on the Jor-El being evil thing, but it's just Jor-El now.
Yes.
So that's the other reason why I do not like this guy. I do not like Supergirl or really Superman, because it's like, of all the things, it would have been one thing if you made the Kryptonians all evil, but you harp on Jor-El now.
Yeah, I'm a bit iffy on that. That was one of the things I was not too happy about. But I will say what was cool is Kryptonian language.
Okay, they actually do that, but that's fine. But it's like, again, that doesn't make up for the fact that they harped on making Jor-El of all people evil. It'd be one thing if it was like all the Kryptonians, but just Jor-El. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. By the way,
say, oh no, you. What do you want to say, Taladia?
I was gonna mention, don't stay after credit. There's no post credit.
I heard that as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I was just about to go into that. There's no post credit, no Brainiac tease, no nothing. If I had to compare this movie, not in terms of quality, but in the overall structure, similar to the MCU, I would compare this akin to the Incredible Hulk of 2008. Now, granted, there are other circumstances.
Incredible Hulk 2008 had a post-credit scene.
Yeah, Incredible Hulk kind of posted
It did,
too,
but in terms of the overall structure, it's kind of the low point or the weakest movie of the chapter, and it's a relative standalone compared to what it comes next.
And Dave brings up a good point. Thing is, nothing in the DCU has made a big splash yet. Even Superman 2025 seems to be mostly forgotten or being reevaluated. Unless Lanterns or Man of Tomorrow makes a huge impact, I doubt they'll keep actors. That could happen as well.
That's
They could
point.
that could happen as well. But it's like, as it stands now, again, this could change. As it stands now, the least I see them doing is replacing Gunn with a different person as the creative CEO. That's all I see. As far as like keeping actors, I'm still in the camp of them keeping it. I'm like 60% sure they'll keep the actors.
Yeah, I think it's about 60-70% they'll keep the actors, just purely because of, not because of money wise, but I think just because of how much impact they had, like, you know, getting a popular role like Superman and Supergirl and Hawkgirl. And
by that logic, though, they should have kept Henry Cavill as Superman, though.
But okay, you could have. Yeah, that's true. Having Henry Cavill got done dirty. No one's
ignoring the contract part. I'm just adapting, though. I'm just at least like responding to the whole because they played a popular character argument. It's like in that case, they should have kept the entire Snyderverse cast.
No,
except for Ezra. But my point is, at least with the Trinity, because it's like Affleck was playing Batman, Godot was playing Wonder Woman, Cavill was playing Superman, the three most popular characters.
3 people you have had to recast, at the very least 3 you had to recast. That's Ezra Miller's Flash, Amber Turd as Mara, and Rafe for Cyborg. Those 3 bare
Ray
minimum.
said he would come back now that Hamada's not there anymore. I've said this many times.
I would still have a backup actor in case if you were really trying to resalvage and make the DC the original DC.
I will say if I had to pick a third one, I think they would recast. It's Leto as Joker.
Leto Joker, yeah, Jared Leto, yeah.
I could see that. That's a fair point.
Yeah, and Hunter, guess what? Guess what age Batman is in the Snyderverse?
50.
50, 60, somewhere. He's that age. It works. And you're acting like he would be in the suit for like all of the fight scenes and stuff.
I got news for you. Based off the Dark Knight Rises, and that version of Bruce went off the deep end after the events. But basically, that version.
Let me finish, Jay.
Go ahead.
The other fact. So Hunter, you're acting like he was in the suit for all the fight scenes. I got news for you. He wasn't. There was a stunt double. Anyway, go ahead. Okay. Is the one where we truly say, I don't know yet. Anyway,
no telling. No telling. Wonder Woman could really go either way. Basically, Affleck, yes, he is older. There would definitely be a risk if there wasn't a stunt double already established. I'm sure they would have already had one.
There was already. You had one in Batman versus Superman.
Thank you for confirming that, Jared. It's just there's a lot of factors to where there was so much brand damage and overall toxicity with the DCEU. Yes, the Snyder Cut and the campaign for it was a triumph. I'm not refuting that from anybody who supported it in suicide prevention. I'm not refuting that. It was a rare success. But even if AT&T, but DC Universe and COVID, that was just momentum so Emmerich could sell Warner Media off the first chance he got. And that's just the objective truth. The DCEU was going to get rebooted regardless. Now, I would have restructured it a different way and just allowed, and let's say Peacemaker be Elseworld or standalone. That way it could finish with some grace. I wouldn't have tried to force it into the reboot. I would have gone clean slate. And we build straight up from Superman. That's what I would have done.
But Gunn didn't want to. His main reason for bringing Peacemaker over is purely because he liked it, but that's besides the point. But anyway, I think it's a good place to leave it, gentlemen. This was a great show. And so for movie night, we're going to be talking about Days of Future Past. We may do the regular cut because apparently the road cut is not anywhere on streaming. But anyway, in terms of Superman Legacy, Britt and I are going to be comparing Rebirth Superman to a New 52 Superman to talk about what a downgrade it was. And you know us, Eladia. And Wonder Woman Wednesday, I'm still formulating what I want to do for that. Actually, Wonder Woman Wednesday, I'm going to do one. So I did the George Perez one. I'm going to do the video on the misconceptions about Wonder Woman. Jay Heat, how about you?
As for me, you can find me at jheat75 or jheatblaze. Stay tuned for Maul Shadow Lord. A couple reviews I got coming out. Maul Shadow Lord, Mandalorian Grogu, and Supergirl. I want to get those videos out within the next few days. I also do movies, video games, TV show reviews, anime, just about anything. So if you feel like hanging out or like, comment, subscribe, thank y'all so much for watching tonight.
Taladia, how about you, my brother?
You can check me out on YouTube at Taladia Plays. I will have my review for 007 First Light coming out next week because I've just been really busy this weekend. So I've got that. But I'll also be getting back into Marvel Rivals because I've been neglecting that game ever so much. And I also will be doing a review for Supergirl as well. Non-spoiler and then a spoiler stream. So I want to do two. And then obviously I'm going to cover, I am covering right now My Adventure with Superman season 3. And I'm going to be doing a reaction for episode 3 this weekend. That should come out. So stay tuned for that. And also make sure you check me out on social media, which is at Taladia Plays. That's it.
All their links will be in the description below. Stay heroic, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. We will see you guys later. Bye-bye.